Just kidding. I can't drink coffee, all that stuff. All right, let's do it.
I think we're good. What's up, everyone?
Hey, everyone.
This is Cause and Effect, Brennan and Chase.
Yep, a.k.a. B and C.
I don't think that's a thing.
No, probably.
But we're here today to discuss the newly released George Floyd tape, essentially what led up to him being killed.
Yeah, some information that came out that we had basically no idea about. It was the kind of the preface to the whole situation where everyone saw the video where he was lying on the ground. You know, the police had his knee on his neck, but you didn't see what happened prior to that. You don't know if he was acting rampant before. All you see is him lying on the ground and a police on his neck.
And it's not that whatever he had been doing before would have warranted him being killed.
No, not at all.
We're not saying that at all.
No.
But when it comes to the law and when it comes to the judiciary portion of what's going on, you need to see that.
Yeah.
You need to see what happened.
It makes a big deal to know the actual scenario that was taking place there. It really does kind of victimize George Floyd in the original videos that came out. And again, it's none of this is to say that what happened was okay. A man should never be murdered in the streets for any reason. But the new videos that were released, if you haven't checked them out, I recommend going to look at them because it kind of paints the picture and why police may act the way that they do when they're trying to apprehend somebody. When someone's not responding the way that they think that they should, being a little aggressive or just non-compliant, they seem to do as much as they could do to give this guy or make him comfortable. And he seemed to just continue being in his own zone of almost, I don't want to say he would look like he was on drugs, but he kind of looked like...
He was on drugs.
Yeah.
They took blood from his corpse after he died, and he was on drugs, even though his friend said that he was not. And that's something important about the whole interaction is to understand where the cops were coming from as well. Because if you watch the video, you will see that George Floyd was being overdramatic.
He was, very much.
He was, when this whole thing was going on, I do need to say at first, if you watch the video, maybe you should pause the video right here and go and watch what happened with George Floyd and then come back. So when you come back, let's give you a little pause. Okay, you're back. Hello. So the cop obviously pulled his gun on him very quickly. That was my initial reaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? He pulled it very fast. He did put it away when George Floyd put both of his hands on the steering wheel, which was, I understand from the cop's point of view, if somebody won't put both of their hands on the steering wheel and their other hand is out of view doing something weird, they have no idea what's going to happen.
Yep.
I've watched videos of cops letting that kind of stuff fly and then get shot for it. So I understand that from the cop's point of view. But with that being said, it still seemed very quick for him to draw his gun like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was my first reaction to the video.
Yeah, I thought the same thing as well. He pulled his gun out a little early, but then once he got, a visual on George Floyd's hands, it seemed like, he put his gun away.
He did. He put it away.
He seemed to act more calm, Even when they handcuffed him and brought him over to the vehicle, they were saying, we can let the windows down. We just need you to sit down and talk. And I think something that's really important to notice is the other two people that were in the vehicle with him. That's something that I definitely didn't know of in the original videos that we all saw of George Floyd, but there were actually two other people in the vehicle. They got out of the vehicle, walked to the side of the street, were talking to the cops. There were no problems at all. They were a little bit dramatic themselves, but they were answering the questions. Cops didn't bother them. They had their discussion and they moved on. But yet when you have someone that's doing the complete opposite of that and, not comprehending or just not being easy to deal with, then things are going to turn out a little differently. These guys put their lives at risk every day with crazy ass people and don't know what the hell is about to happen. So they have to be on their guard 24/7. Doesn't warrant murder, but it gives you a little bit more perspective on the situation.
If anything you take from this video, you need to understand that neither of us are excusing what the cop did.
Right.
Neither of us are saying that George Floyd deserved to die. Of course he did not. However, if he had behaved even a little bit differently, he would still be alive.
Yeah.
He was being incredibly overdramatic, especially when the cops were asking him to get into the vehicle. He was resisting arrest, essentially. He was saying, I'm not resisting, but he was being non-compliant. Right. So if an officer is telling you to do something and you don't do it, by default, you are resisting arrest. That's resisting.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he had the cops were being as calm as they probably could have been in the situation. And if you watch the video all the way through, it was his decision to go and lay on the ground.
Yeah, he would rather have lied on the ground than been in the cop car.
Right. He was freaking out when they tried to put him in the cop car and then kicked his way out. And that's kind of where the video ends. The main argument that you could put forth against what we're saying, which I wouldn't argue against this, is that George Floyd was scared because he was black.
Yeah.
That's something that I definitely cannot argue against, because I believe absolutely that systemic racism is real. I know that there's high tensions between black people and cops, especially now. So maybe that was on George Floyd's mind when that whole thing was going down. He had been shot before, that kind of stuff. So in that way, absolutely, he had a right to be scared, but he was acting very erratic and he was on drugs.
Yeah, and I think also, if I recall correctly, and if I am saying bullshit, then call me out, but the coroner's description of how he died was that he had some heart attack or something before. It wasn't due to asphyxiation, and you can tell clearly watching this new footage, his heartbeat was up, he was acting erratic. It could very easily seem that maybe he had a heart attack or ran out of breath and passed out or something way before he was actually killed due to asphyxiation.
And even before they were really restraining him and pinning him to the ground, he was saying he couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. Even before anything happened, he could obviously breathe, and he was saying, "Oh, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." He was being very overdramatic. Again, I'm going to say this probably one or two more times. This does not excuse what the officer did. Neither of us are making excuses for him.
Not at all. Not at all.
But if you were trying to pin first-degree murder on these guys,
it's probably not
going
to happen.
You have to watch the video. And you can't say it's premeditated murder after you watch that video. That's just bogus. And if you try to pin first-degree murder on these cops, it's just an emotional reaction. I mean, after watching this was not a racial killing in essence. The race wasn't on the cop's mind when this happened. Maybe it had something to do with it prior to, like I said, maybe he was scared because he was black. Mm-hmm. In that way, maybe it was a racial killing. But I don't think that the cop that killed him was racist.
Right.
It didn't seem that way to me.
I think one of the biggest parts of the story, too, is this whole time, they had access to this footage that was just let out. So it seems like the prior footage that was put out was just meant to polarize people. It was meant to create a reaction. None of us knew what happened before. Tried to paint this image of, just police brutality. And then you get the full story months later, and it's like, oh, well, it's kind of now a different story.
Right.
And they had this information before.
Yeah,
so,
nobody's talked about George Floyd in a while. Let's stir things up. It's been all Breonna Taylor for a while. Let's throw some more ridges in the engine.
It seems way too obvious that it's just all manipulated to get clicks. The more people that are looking at this information, the more people that are getting angry and is fueling all kinds of actions so that basically these people can make money.
And it's
beyond
sad.
Obvious.
It's sad. It is very obvious. If you take anything racial from this killing, it shouldn't be the officers that killed him because he was black.
Yeah.
You should take away that it was part of a deeper systemic issue, that he was scared because he was black.
And not only
that connects to other things.
Right. And it's not very hard to see why he would be scared when you have videos like this that are coming out on the internet that only show the part that the person is being killed or brutalized or however you want to word it. But no wonder people are going to think that certain way. It's because a lot of times you just don't have all the information. And it's unfortunate that we're just being obviously manipulated by the media to say, this is the information you can have now. Now everyone run rampant on this one little small part of the picture. And then, eventually we'll let some more information out. And I am hard pressed to believe that even more information on this whole situation will come out eventually.
It may.
And it'll probably change the story even more. So I say stay tuned. I mean, this is some interesting stuff. And it just, if your eyes aren't open to the information control and the manipulation we get from the media already, well, this should really fucking do it for you.
It really should. I mean, this among a million other things.
Yeah.
They're using it to keep us on edge and keep us guessing about what could happen next, keep us scared.
Keep us plugged into the news channels.
That's right. So
everyone's clicking around and looking for the next thing.
Don't get your news from just one news source. I wouldn't trust the media.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't even pay attention to it.
The thing that I want to say in conclusion in this video, if a white man had been behaving in the exact same way in that situation that George Floyd was in, he would have also been killed.
Probably so.
But it is possible that he was scared and in the situation that he was in because he was black.
Yeah.
So there's two different takes you could get from it. I don't think it was directly racist, but is it part of a deeper systemic issue? Perhaps.
Possibly so.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, if you hate us now, then please let us know.
Yeah.
If not, if you support what we're saying, if
Yeah.
you agree, let us know. Either way,
Yeah.
like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Share our videos if you can. If
That's
it doesn't
right.
take too much out of your day,
Yeah, it
we would we would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yep. Cause and effect here, guys. Chase and Brennan, and we'll talk to you soon.